So I've completed all the woodworking on the bellows, and I've treated my leather that's going to be tacked all the way around it. And I've treated the inside with 3 coats of oil and the outside with 2. So I can't get at that inside, and there's going to be literally hundreds and hundreds of tacks that are going to make this airtight. So I have to let that cure for a couple of days. And I think about our ancestors, that when they woke up in the morning, it wasn't so much that they woke up and said, I want to do something today. They got up in the morning and said, what do I need to do? And right now I need to get at hides. So I'm backlogged with a lot of deer hides. And I, like a damn fool, I took on two buffalo hides. So I had no idea that they were going to be this much work. I've got them fleshed, I've got them washed, I've got them salted. So that's one of the processes. I also have some friends coming next weekend, and we're going to film that as an episode and hopefully show the entire tanning process in one episode. And it's going to be fun to have help. So that's one thing. We had a very successful deer hunt. We got one deer 3 weeks ago. We went to Manitoulin, and both Kathy and I tagged out, so we have 3 deer for our winter's food. And some people would say this is a nasty day. I call it outstanding because there's no projects I can do, so I'm going to go sit by the fire, tell a wee bit of history, history by the hearth, if you would. It doesn't get a whole lot better than this. So during the hunting season, the first week, and we were successful, but I lost my knife. So I asked Nick Skinner, who built it for me, and he's a phenomenal blade maker out there in Nova Scotia, if he'd send me the plans. So this just arrived. The post rider came today. So let's see what these plans look like, because I'll have my forge going here shortly, and I'll be able to recreate Nick's knife, I hope. Well, maybe not. I mean, Nick is rather good at what he does. Oh, that's pretty cool. He's actually sent it on parchment paper, and it says to Peter and Kathy. He's actually got his wax seal on here. It says Nick Skinner, so NS. So let's see what these plans look like. So here's what Nick has to say. It says, Peter and Kathy, hope all is well in Upper Canada. After hearing about the loss of your knife, I thought I'd draw a pattern up for you, especially after I heard you'd build a forge on the homestead. All is well here in Halifax, the fleet busy in the harbor. We had an American ship and a Danish ship in the harbor 2 weeks back. Following is a drawing below. Hopefully you find it helpful. Enjoy the little parcel with this note, Nick Skinner. And he's given me a scale, a scale to recreate the knife that I lost, and it was a really sweet blade. And I lost it in the dark, right at dark when we got our deer, and yeah, it's a tool that I've carried for the past year since I got it from Nick, and I pretty much use that tool every day, and so I'm looking forward to recreating it. Let's see what's Nick sent here. This is kind of like Christmas. Oh, I think, by the feel of it, Nick has thwarted me in making a knife. Let's see what we got here. Sure feels like a knife in here. Oh my goodness, look at that. Doesn't that shine? It's the exact blade that Nick sure knows how to put an edge on one. And yeah, I'm not sure Nick guarantees all the knives he makes for loss. In fact, I'm pretty sure he doesn't. What I can guarantee you, if you want a custom built knife, Nick sure is someone you should look into, because he does phenomenal work. That's just wonderful. I've got the sheath, the empty sheath, hanging up here somewhere. There it is. Maybe, if I'm really lucky, it's going to fit the sheath. Oh, isn't that grand? That is just grand. Thank you very much, Nick. That'll be used just like the last one, and hopefully we're not going to lose that guy. Anyway, I'm going to finish my cup of coffee, and I'm going to tell the story of Chief Logan. It's a sad story in early 18th century, or I should say late 18th century American history. And Anyway, we're going to get at that in a minute. So Chief Logan is born in 1723. He lives to 1780. He's Cayuga, one of the Six Nations, the Iroquois Confederacy. In the 1760s, he moves to the Ohio country and affiliates himself with a tribe known as the Mingos. And there are sort of a number of tribes, remnants of tribes, some Cayugas, some Senecas, Lenape, and another of other nations that form what we know now as the Mingos. His native name translated means the spreading oak. However, he'll always be remembered as Chief Logan. So Logan very early on realized that if his people were going to survive, that they would have to, at least to some degree, assimilate with the whites. He saw their numbers, he saw their strength, and he just realized to combat with them on a constant basis was futile. And so he was friendly with the whites, and he was known for that. He was respected and revered, if you would. Anyway, I'm going to sing a little song that really tells the story of Logan. That friendly relationship, I should point out, it ends on April the 30th, 1774, in what would become known as the Yellow Creek Massacre. So Pete Kosky, one of my favorite folk singers, wrote a song about Logan, and he does a lot better job of telling this story than I ever could do with my own words. So I'm going to sing the song of Logan by Pete Kosky. Hear the words of Logan, the noble Mingo chief. Was there ever a hungry white man whom I did not feed? Was there ever a naked white man whom I did not clothe? I appeal to any white man to say it isn't so. And now, not one drop of Logan's blood through any living creature flows. Yellow Creek on the Ohio, where Logan's village stood, where all white men were welcome with friendship and with food. Logan was a peaceful man, respected and revered, greatest specimen of humanity along the wild frontier. Blue jacket came to warn him that the white men meant him harm. Logan was a peaceful man, and peaceful was his heart. Come live with the Shawnee and leave this very night. Logan stayed on Yellow Creek, for he was friendly with the whites. And now, not one drop of Logan's blood through any living creature flows. Shadows of the setting sun, canoes soon drifted near. Jacob Greathouse raised his hand in peace and called for all to hear. But the Mingos cared to grace his camp and partake in the rum. Hold a friendly shooting match, he welcomed everyone. 5 braves and a girl with child rode over in the dark. His Greathouse hatched his deadly plan of shooting at a mark. All were greeted cheerfully, and each drank down his rum, then invited to shoot first. Each brave emptied his gun. Smiles fell from their faces as the white men ringed them round. As the smoke aired from their firing, well, they were murdered to the ground. Squaw raised the alarm as she ran for the stream. Viciously was she butchered, and they hanged her from a tree. And now not one drop of Logan's blood through any creature flows. So canoes drew to the firelight to answer the alarm, where some 30 white men hiding shot them down one by one. Logan found the empty camp, his eyes were filled with blood. On the slain there was his father, his sister, and her unborn son. And now not one drop of Logan's blood through any living creature flows. Too late Blue Jacket's warning came back to his ears. 10 white scalps he would take for each Mingo they killed here. Logan took his revenge along the border all that year. Revenge that tore his soul apart through blood and bitter tears. And now, not one drop of Logan's blood through any living creature flows. Is there ever a hungry white man Logan did not feed? Was there ever a naked white man who Logan did not clothe? Well, I'll appeal to any white man to say it isn't so. And now, not one drop of Logan's blood through any living creature flows. And who is there to mourn? So, following this horrific event, a number of very influential chiefs try to negotiate peace. They don't want to see this escalating into a major war. And some of those chiefs, including the famous Cornstalk of the Shawnee, they attempt this negotiation. However, under native custom, they can't stop Logan from wanting to seek revenge. And Logan does just that. He raises havoc along the frontier. So the royal governor of Virginia, Lord Dunmore, sends out an expedition against the Mingos and the Shawnee, and this is what's known as the Lord Dunmore's War or Dunmore's War. Doesn't go so well, and on October the 10th, 1774, it culminates in the Battle of Point Pleasant, and that doesn't go very well for the Shawnee and the Mingos, and they're forced to retreat. However, they did kill, wound, maim a lot of Americans in that battle. At this point, Cornstalk's forced to negotiate peace and a peace treaty, and as a result of that treaty, the Shawnee secede all their lands that they laid claim to south of the Ohio. And America now has grown bigger, and the Indians now are being boxed in even more, which ultimately is going to lead to a fellow named Tecumseh. And that's another story. That's another story in itself. And that might be a long one. It would take a long time to cover that one. But Logan, he's not going to have any part of this negotiations. When this war is over, he refuses to attend the negotiations for this treaty. However, he sends what it becomes known as Logan's Lament, and I'm going to read it verbatim because I wouldn't do it justice if I tried to memorize this. And from this lament are the very words that Pete Kosky eloquently melds into this beautiful song that I just sang. Not that I sang it beautifully, but Pete Kosky's beautiful song. And he takes Logan's words, and his turn of phrase is amazing. So here's Logan's Lament as it was sent to be read at the signing of this treaty. I appeal to any white man to say, if I ever entered Logan's cabin hungry, and he gave me not meat, if ever he came cold and naked, and he clothed him not. During the course of the last long and bloody war, Logan remained idle in his cabin, an advocate for peace. Such was my love for the whites, that my countrymen pointed as they passed and said, Logan's the friend of the white. I've even thought to live with you, but for the injuries of one man, Colonel Cresset, that last spring in cold blood and unprovoked murdered all the relations of Logan, not sparing even my women and children. There runs not a drop of my blood in the veins of any living creature. This is called on me for revenge. I have sought it. I have killed many. I have fully glutted my vengeance. For my country I rejoice at the beams of peace. But do not harbor a thought that mine is the joy of fear. Logan never felt fear. He will not turn on his heel to save his life. Who is there to mourn for Logan? Not one. And that is a sad story, a sad part of American history, of what was could have been an entirely different outcome. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. About time I got some supper on, I think.